Well, as you can see, not only is it cold here in Ohio, but the snow has arrived. And for us, that just means one thing. It's time to get out of here. This year, we've decided to take you all along with us on the trip down to Florida. Fifth wheel's all packed up. Stick around. We're leaving first thing in the morning. Well, it's 28 degrees here this morning, so we're going to let the truck warm up a little bit before we get on the road. After looking at Google Maps, we have found that we're going to have our first detour here in Ohio, as the bridge going over the Ohio River into Kentucky is out on I-75. So we're going to get on the road a little earlier than we expected and hopefully avoid some of that congestion caused by that. So it's going to be a few hours before it gets light out, so we'll see you probably in Kentucky when it's light enough to do some filming. We are about 3.5 hours into the trip, about 218 miles, currently on the bypass of 75 because the bridge is out in Cincinnati, and we're just getting ready to cross into the state of Indiana, and that'll be real quick, across the river and into Kentucky. So far this time of morning, the bypass has been pretty clear of traffic and it's going pretty good, and we're pretty much on schedule. Welcome to Kentucky. So the bypass wasn't bad at all, especially this time of the morning on a Saturday, so that's what we were hoping for. We're pretty much on the same time schedule I think that we would have been had we not had to take the bypass. So we're going to find a rest stop here in just a little bit, take another little break, and be back on the road. Okay, so that's our second rest stop. We are in Florence, Kentucky. It's just about 9 o'clock, just before 9 o'clock. So we're gonna get back on the road, and we should be in Tennessee in probably a couple hours. Usually Kentucky only takes 2.5 hours to get through. So we'll see you in Tennessee.
you want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind.
Looks like I've gone and jinxed myself by saying traffic has been good, so now we're going to run into traffic here in Knoxville on 640. And this is usually where we run into backups anyway, so I kind of expected this, but we'll see how it goes. Really not sure what happened there. Got through that exit ramp and everything opened right back up, so I'm not real sure what was slowing down the traffic, but we're back to normal speed again, so we'll see how things go.
River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're.
Okay guys, if you're towing with a diesel or your RV is a diesel and you don't have this EFS card, get one. The posted sign out front said diesel's $275. My price is going to be $207. So you're going to save some money if you get one of these cards. We'll put a link down below how you can get one of these if you don't know about it already. Now you do, and you'll thank me later when you save bundles on long trips like this. This is our first fuel stop since Northwest Ohio, and we're probably gonna put 50 or 60 gallons in because we have an auxiliary tank. We're gonna fill them both, and that'll probably get us all the way to Florida. So get one of these cards. Like I said, I'll put the link down below, and you'll thank me later. So we got about 80 miles to go till we get to Georgia, which made me think about a couple of things that I wanted to share with you guys. In addition to the pre-planning that I do for every trip, even though we make this trip every year, I pretty much know how we're going to get there, where we're going to stop, and things like that. And as you make trips like that, you'll develop your own habits, as I'm sure most of you that might be watching this that make trips like this have. One of the things that I do to pre-plan even every year is I look at Google Maps, I look at my route to see if there's any road closures there, which I did, and we knew that that bridge was closed in Cincinnati, so we knew we had a detour there. I also look at my app for that fuel card and see who's offering the best discounts, and then I plan my fill-ups accordingly like I did today. I could have made it well into Georgia with the fuel that I had on board when I left the house between the truck and the auxiliary tank, but Knoxville had the cheapest prices, so I topped everything off there, including my DEF. Another thing that I look at is the weather and the highs and the lows for our travel day, because we will fill the RV with water this afternoon, or put water in the freshwater tank, so that we can either have a shower tonight when we stop or first thing in the morning before we take off. So you'll see when we get up there, we'll show you one of the rest stops that we typically stop at is close to Macon, Georgia, and they've got a really nice RV area with a dump station and a place we can get water. As well, there's other rest stops along 75 in Georgia that have dump stations and places to get water. The one that we're stopping at just happens to be a favorite of ours, because that's about the time we're ready to stop for the night when we get there. If it's early when we get there, we may decide to just have dinner and maybe drive for another couple hours. We'll see when we get there how we feel. But we'll definitely get water there, and that way we're ready for a shower either tonight or first thing in the morning. And we can dump, if we stay there, we can dump all the extra water before we leave, so we're not carrying any extra weight that we necessarily don't need to. going to take a quick stop here in this rest stop here in Resaca, Georgia, before Atlanta, just to stretch our legs and get something to drink, because we never know what to expect as we get closer to Atlanta. So we're going to take advantage of this rest stop just in case. Good morning, everyone. It's about 5 o'clock here on Sunday morning. We finally made it into our rest stop last night around 9:30, which is about 3 hours later than we anticipated being here. As I said earlier in the video, how things were going so well as far as traffic. Well, I jinxed myself, because by the time we got to Atlanta, things kind of went south, no pun intended. Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, everything went really smooth. We were hoping for the whole trip to go that way. Just north of Atlanta, we ran into some construction, which turned into a parking lot. And as usual, in downtown Atlanta, traffic was bad. Not as bad as the construction areas, but it slowed us down quite a bit. And then again, south of Atlanta, yet another parking lot. So that put us about 3 hours behind schedule. So we're hoping for a better day today. Got up this morning, got some showers. We're going to have some coffee and get on the road, and hopefully be at the park sometime after 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock this afternoon. GPS says it's a 6-hour drive, so we're going to plan on 8. Going to get some coffee, and we're going to get on the road. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a look of this rest stop here, and so you can see what this looks like. I know I say this is strictly for RV parking. You can see the truck drivers come in and sneak some spots as well. But this is a big horseshoe here, as you can see, and then you just curb park. So it's nice so that you're not parked directly beside somebody and hearing their generator run or that truck run all night. So even though it does sound a little loud here this morning, our generator is running right now. It's far more quiet than being up next to all the trucks in the regular parking. So I'm going to turn around here, and you can see over there across from this little picnic area, it's a big horseshoe. There's parking over there as well, and I'm going to walk down here. And at the end of the horseshoe, when you come around, hopefully you'll be able to see it. Again, the truck drivers, I get it. I mean, they have to stop and they run out of spots, so they take whatever they can. But this is supposed to be dedicated just for RVs. And you can see right there by that trash can, there's a dump station there and a water spigot to fill up. So makes it nice. If you're coming from the north, you can unwinterize your RV, and by the time you get down here to Georgia, and have showers in the morning and things like that. So okay, we're gonna get on the road, guys. We'll see you when it gets light. going to make a quick pit stop here at exit 82. Nature just called before we were going to make it to the next rest stop. So a good alternative in Georgia is exit 82. There's a place called Carol's Sausages, and you can see it behind me. And they also have a little campground here. Full hookup. I believe it's 50 amp service, water, electric, and sewer. You can stay the night overnight here for $30, I believe it is. And then they give you like a $10 credit in the store in the morning to go in and have breakfast. So if the rest stop is not an option, they're full, this is a good place to stop as well. And you might even feel a little safer here. It's a little campground. As you can see, we just drove through it just to show it to you. And they look pretty full today, this morning. It's 8 o'clock this morning and they're still full. So might be another one of those things you want to get into a little bit early. But it's a good alternative. And it's a nice little meat market in their country store, and you can get some breakfast in there. So that'd be a good place for you to stop. Florida.
Where's the sunshine?
No kidding, geez. So, about 9:15, we finally make it to Florida. I don't know, somebody forgot to tell the governor we were coming, but the sun is not out yet. So, hopefully that changes soon. But it just feels good to be out of Georgia. Georgia's the worst. Not that it's a bad state, it's beautiful, but the traffic around Atlanta is an absolute nightmare. I mean, yeah, every trip is different. Some years we can get through Georgia and it's not bad at all. And some years it's terrible. This was one of those years. So we ended up an extra 3 hours yesterday just because of sitting in traffic. So it's nice that that's behind us. So we're at the end here now. We've got 3 or 4 more hours. We're gonna stop and top off the fuel one more time just because we can get a little cheaper out here on the interstate with our fleet card. And if the weather clears up before we get there, hopefully
give the truck a bath.
We're gonna give this whole rig a bath. It's a hot mess, both the fifth wheel and the truck. And for those of you that might be watching this that know me, you know I can't stand that. So I got to get this thing cleaned up. So maybe if the weather clears up, we'll try one of those blue beacons for the first time and see what that's all about. So, okay, we'll check in with you guys in a little while when we're closer, and hopefully the sun is shining by then.
I hope.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, we made it here.
Yeah, first day was a little stressful. We left home about 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and we pulled into the park here about 1:30 Sunday afternoon. We had a total of 1,170 miles, including our detour in Cincinnati, which, by the way, if you're coming down after the 23rd of December, that is the projected opening day of that bridge, so you shouldn't have to take that detour if you're coming down anytime after the 23rd of December from Michigan, Canada, Ohio. If you're following 75 down, you should be good.
Pretty much for the trip, it was good. It just that delay in, well, several delays in Atlanta.
Yeah, like you saw in the video, the first 3 states went very well. Even the delays, the short delay that we ended up with in Knoxville, which we usually end up with a little bit there, as that interchange from 640 to 40, that backs up a little bit, but usually it's not too bad. This year it was actually pretty quick. As far as fuel goes, I showed you earlier about the discount card. Just to give you an example of what we saved, we used a total of 114 gallons of diesel fuel getting down here, and that's towing of 14,000. We're roughly 14,000 pounds loaded with our fifth wheel. So 114 gallons of fuel for 1,170 miles is not bad. With the discounts with that fleet card, I saved $80 over the posted prices. As you saw in the video, in Knoxville it was $275. We paid a little over $207, and I think when we topped off in Ocala, just for the sake of topping off, because we can get it cheaper out there, it was $218. And so again, guys, if you don't have that card and you're towing with a diesel, it's going to save you some money. So back to the delays. You looked...
I did look on Google Maps, and it did say there was delay about 20 minutes, it said.
Yeah, Google lied to us again.
North of Atlanta, at least. And then the one south of Atlanta, it didn't say it was that long. I'm thinking maybe it said it was like 15 minutes or so, but...
Both of them turned out to be...
It tried to reroute us, but the thing with that is that you don't know where it's going to take you when you're pulling a big camper.
No, and we've run into that problem before. So if you're traveling with an RV, especially a large RV like we have, I highly recommend getting, and we haven't done this yet for I don't know why, but we're definitely going to have it in the truck on our return trip in the spring, an RV GPS. And what you need that for is because you can put in your parameters, how tall your rig is, how long your rig is, and that GPS will not take you or let you go on a route that isn't going to work for you. And that's the problem with Google Maps. When it reroutes you, I think that Google Maps assumes everybody's driving a Prius.
Yeah.
Because seriously, if you take a detour that was recommended by Google Maps and you're pulling a rig like this, you could very well get yourself into trouble. And we've actually had it take us down residential streets before. Fortunately, we made it down with this, but we quickly aborted Google Maps directions and went back to a main route. So again, if Google Maps is going to reroute you, be very careful if you're pulling an RV or you're in a big motorhome, because you may not get through those routes that it wants you to take. So be careful with that. So, and then what else can we let them know about? Rest areas. As you saw, we have a favorite one coming down, and we showed you that rest area that's very RV friendly, especially for overnighting.
And it typically is a good spot or a good time of day or whatever along our route to stop.
Yeah, it works out good for us because our goal when we make the trip down here for Florida is to just get through Atlanta the first day, and then the next day everything seems to go pretty smooth as it did this trip as well. We didn't really have, I don't even think we slowed down the second day. We didn't have any delays at all, did we?
No, but I mean, not a lot of people don't like to travel that many miles or that many hours in a day, but we are just, you know, so excited to get here that we just kind of push it on the way down.
Yeah, I mean, the first day, because of the traffic delays, we spent 16 hours of drive time. And that drive time also included our rest stops in our pit stops. So, and then
way too long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually we don't like to go over 12 on our first day, and we can typically get to that rest area, which, as I posted on there, is mile marker 179 in the southbound lane on 75 in Georgia. That's usually our goal, is to get there the first day in 12 hours. But I mean, it just goes to show you every trip is different.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to expect when you're making a trip that long. So if you're going to make a trip, and we really are making this video for people who have thought about making a trip like this, have been apprehensive for whatever reason. Hopefully where we stopped showed you some places and some options.
And that Carol Sausages is a nice alternative. We need to do that sometime.
Yeah, that Carol Sausages at like you saw at exit 82. If you're one of those people that doesn't feel like it's safe enough for you to overnight or rest in a rest area, we've never really had any issues, but some people are apprehensive about that.
We've had issues at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, we've had somebody knock on our door at 2:30 in the morning there, but
I guess you'll get that anywhere, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Carol Sausages has that little campground, and just for a disclaimer, we are not affiliated with them in any way. We're not being paid to promote them. We just found it and think it's a good alternative. And even if you're going to stop during the day just for a rest, and you think you might want to pick up some meats or things like that.
That's a cute little store.
It is. It's a nice little country store. You
Yeah.
can get some breakfast in the morning there. And they have a really large area, which you saw in the video where we parked. We were there early, so they weren't quite opened yet. But there's a really large area to the side of the store where you can just wheel right around with your RV and get in and out easily.
Oh, yeah. Easily accessible for a big rig.
And that's one thing that's attractive to me is, can I get in and out easy and back on the interstate quick? So
if you guys have any suggestions of where you go or get off or make stops, that would be great information to have.
Right. If you're an experienced snowbirder and you do this and you've got other areas, please leave comments, and hopefully we can share them with everybody as well. If you think that we're in the Tampa Bay area, we're in Largo, Florida, and fortunately for us, we're in an area where we're like a 10-minute bike ride away from the beaches.
Everything.
We can ride to the beach.
We have everything.
Yeah, we can ride to the beach in 10 minutes on our bicycles. It only takes us 10 minutes to get to the Pinellas Trail, where we can go from here in Largo all the way down to St. Petersburg or clear up to Tarpon Springs, Florida on the bike trail and not be dealing with traffic. So we have a lot of things at our disposal here. So
Well, we have e-bikes and we like to ride bikes. So
a lot of our videos will show you that, some of our adventures. So if you think you're interested in the Tampa Bay area, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and help us out and help us grow, and hit the bell so that you get notified when we have a new video come out. And if those are the things that you're interested in down here, bike trails and things like that, we're going to have plenty of videos in the future. So if you want to follow us along on our shenanigans down here, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notified. So I'm going to give you guys a little view of our campsite here now that we're all set up. We did get set up in the rain, so we didn't do too much videoing when we were setting up because it was not the best weather, as you saw in the video coming down. We had rain coming down.
But the sun came out and we're happy.
The sun is out, and we're probably going to take some bike rides on the beach. We're going to hit the trails. So far the weather looks like this is not going to be the warmest December we've been down here. This is going to be one of the coldest Christmases they're telling us on the local news that they've had in years. So we're going to find alternatives of things to do besides the beach. There's plenty to do, and we'll take the camera along and show you guys some of the things that there is to do around here. There's plenty to do in the Tampa Bay area, like I said, with the beaches and the trails. A lot of really nice restaurants. I know with the COVID thing, people are being careful with that.
There's always takeout.
Yeah, there's always takeout. A lot of the restaurants down here are offering the takeout. But
outdoor dining.
That's the nice thing about Florida. It's not hard to find some place that you can eat outdoors.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things that we really like about being down here in the wintertime. Everybody's cooped up in Ohio in the cold, and we're sitting out on a patio somewhere having shrimp dinner. So, So we'll see you guys on the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hopefully those of you that are watching this and haven't made a trip like this and have wanted to, you've learned a little bit of something that could make possibly your trip a little easier.
And if you have anything to share with us to help us along our route,
yeah, please, the
that'd be
experience
great.
guys, leave some comments below if you would, and hopefully we'll be able to share those with everybody else as well. And that's what the RV community is all about, helping each other out. We'll see you guys on our next adventure, and we'll give you a real quick look of the campsite here. And please subscribe, and we'll see you on our next video.
Thanks for following us. Till next time.
See ya.
Hey, I heard you want to leave this place where we grew up. This old town, just leave it all behind. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.